broad about it.
And all that other stuff. I'm curious about your approach to location. Because like you said, finding the abandoned police station, we know that there's the whole, you send out your rep that goes and your location scout. But what are some of the problems you run into with like certain towns require certain things, all the fun stuff that people don't think about when it's, oh, you found your location?
We do locations pretty simply. I drive around until I find somewhere I want to shoot a movie. Then I ask the people that own the place if I can shoot a movie, and then I shoot a movie. We've never had insurance on any of our sets. We're all volunteer. We don't pay anybody. But we're not SAG. We don't have professional actors. It's all local amateurs. So that's who we are. So everybody on our movie is there just because they want to be, or they said they would be. And we go to locations. I've got a friend that owns some. And I'm not recommending this for anybody else. They're right. This is the right way to do it. I just don't have the money to do that stuff, and I don't have backers, so I have to do it on a shoestring. So we spend all of our money on buying lights, on doing that part of the stuff. Nobody in my movie ever gets paid, especially me. So I'm just, that at that level. These guys are pros. I'm an amateur. But I've also found finding locations. Some people just don't want you to shoot a movie there. If they find out what kind of movie it is, that might stop them. If they find out, whatever, that you're pro-Trump or against Trump, they may not want you on their property, who knows? You never know what's going to come up. But my favorite story is, we found a house that was perfect, we were going to shoot the kitchen. They said everything was great. We said, what kind of movie is it? And we said, it's a zombie movie. And they said, zombies are from the devil, we can't shoot here. That's a true story. That's a true story. So that's me. We don't have, these guys are great. They do a lot higher level work than us. But we do it on an absolute shoestring. I shoot movies for under $2,000 usually. And that includes feeding the not that good of food to my crew and actors and stuff. But
it's free food, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think. So that's just me. So listen to these guys, not to me. So that's location.
I usually, when I'm writing a script, I usually have locations in mind that I have access to. So that helps things a lot. But this last film I did, there were a lot of locations, obviously the police station. I just talked to the Kansas City Film Office, and she was able to, I was like, hey, do you have access to a police station? She was like, I know one that just closed. And so she helped me, and I got in touch with the city, and that's, worked out our deal. A lot of times, thankfully in Kansas City, a lot of the locations don't require lots of money, if any money. Like, I was able to spend maybe $400 total on locations on this last movie, which is ridiculous. So I always kind of look for the ones that are obviously free, but best fit the story. If you're ever shooting on a road or doing anything, go through the proper channels to make sure that you've got permission to be there, because you don't want to have somebody coming in and shutting you down. Same thing with any location for that matter. Just make sure that you have permission from the owner. Funny story, we actually shot in a park this last month. And we went through Kansas City, North KC's Parks and Rec department to get permission to shoot there. So they gave us the permit. We show up that night to film, and the mayor of North Kansas City shows up in his truck with a bunch of city council people. And they just sit in the truck and watch us film. And finally I sent somebody over there, and they're like, so what are you guys doing? We're like, well, here's our permit. We're here. We've got permission from Parks and Rec to film here. And they go, well, actually, the Parks and Rec person was supposed to take this to the city council, and we were supposed to vote on it. So they're like, you're not in trouble, but she is. So we're like, okay, well, that's good. At least we're clear to go. But I think they were probably expecting us to do like a car chase through their park or something, and it was like this really small scene between two people. So they got bored after about an hour waiting for us to light, and they left. So, but anyway. No.
Then the car chase happened.
Yeah, then the car chase.
But weren't they like, you're Patrick Ray, you're the most successful filmmaker to ever come from campus, do whatever the fuck you want?
No, that never happened.
They should!
Yeah.
For Red Eye, it was pretty easy because we knew when writing that we just needed the woods. We tried to stay pretty simple because we knew we were limited to resources as we were fresh into the the business or whatever you want to call it. So we knew that our limitations were really short for that one. Now Inverted, I don't know what we were thinking when we wrote it. We thought we had probably $1 million, if not more. But we made it with $10,000. And we
Let's
went
just strike
through.
that from the record because we don't want distribution. We don't want distribution to know that because
I
then
didn't.
all your deals based on that.
That didn't happen.
That was the first scene, right?
That was just the first half, the first week.
That was just for director offers.
Yeah, absolutely. And so on Inverted, we went about 6 different locations, and about every single one of them fell through. One, we got a house, and then they were tearing it down conveniently right before our shoot. We had a distillery, then they were all fine with it. We had discussions, everything was great. Paperwork was about to be done, and then they asked for $7,000. So it's all fun, but yeah, that's location.
I'll just add that whenever you're making a film, there'll be many ups and downs, and you're gonna get pushed down a lot. But as I said at the beginning, if you want it bad enough, you're gonna be able to do it.
So, as far as locations, for me, I usually write around what I have. I think that's really important. So, understand, like, as a filmmaker or as just like a person, you have access to X amount of things. If you want to make a movie for like a low budget, figure out what you have access to, right? So, if you don't have a church, don't write a movie that needs a church, right? You fucking live in an apartment or a house. Write a movie that can shoot in that apartment or the house, or who do you know? So like for me, like even like I had friends in Hollywood, so I live in Los Angeles, California. So like my friend Nick has a studio. So I'm literally, you can ask him. I'm all the time like, what are you doing? I'm not shooting this week. Can I come help you paint a psych? Which for the record, like the psych is a giant wall that people shoot. Why? And he was like, really, you want to help me? I was like, yes. Why? Because I'm going to need to borrow your studio space and not pay you the full rate. And when I ask you for a discounted rate, I want to say, hey, remember all those times I helped you? Now I'm returning that favor. So X amount of times before I ever needed anything from him, just as friends, I was like, let me come out of my way to help you paint your psych. So that when I need a favor from you, I can ask, and I'm not even remotely ashamed because I feel like I've earned it. And he's fine with that. So I think that's really important. And then also, I did a movie shooting cross country, which, by the way, getting insurance on that was fucking a bitch. But we got it. And we covered like our 10-person crew shooting across country. And there came a moment where we were literally driving through New Mexico. We're doing a driving scene. In the middle, like nothing distinguishable, it's fine. We're like, oh my god, we're in this small town that is featured in the script. We weren't planning on shooting that scene, but then we decided to. We saw like the perfect little teeny tiny cathedral, right? Perfect. We did not plan to shoot there, not at all remotely scheduled, but it's there, and it's literally exactly within the script. By the way, the script is called Lilith. It's in final stages of post-production. Stay tuned for that. So we see that like perfect location, like, oh my god, yes. So then we get out of the RV, we have like our 10 main filmmakers, like the 10 main crew in the RV. We get out, we show, there's like a little sign that says do not enter. However, the doors are open, right? So like it says don't enter, but like the door's open, so mixed messages kind of a thing.
It's only a recommendation.
Also, don't necessarily do this, but like also do this. So we're just like, go, it's fine, it's fine. So like, and then, so the door, the gate of like the property's open, and then the door of the cathedral's open. So we're like, let's just check this out. Let's check this out. Cut to the entire crew. The other 9 people are inside checking it out, thinking about like lighting and sound. It's like the most perfect small cathedral that's like in the script. We're like, oh my god, this is like a godsend. Cut to scary looking man coming in a pickup truck, being like, what the fuck are you doing here? I'm like, oh. Crew, shut the fuck up. Let me handle this. So I'm like, hi, I'm Jessica. I want to shoot a movie here. Who are you? And he's like, I have the rights to this fucking cathedral. I'm the maintenance manager. We're not allowed to be here. And I was like, okay, what can I do? I would really like to rent this location. Can we rent this location? We want to shoot a movie today. Hi, what can we do? He's like, really? You want to rent the location? I was like, yeah. I want to give you money so we can shoot here. Are you doing anything today? It's like a Thursday. I would love to rent the location. He's like, so confused. And also, side note, got a lot scary when I offered to rent the location. So he was like, okay, let me talk to my boss. I was like, cool, you go talk to your boss. That would be great. So I tell my people who are now like exploring this cathedral, I'm like, it's fine, but like let's not show him that we have 9 people. So let's just like kind of hide. Right? Like I don't want him to know that we have so many people. Like he thinks we're an RV. It might be like 3 people. It might be 9 people. It's fine. Just keep this between us. Whatever. So he comes back. He's like, okay. So here's the thing. You have to talk to Father so and so about renting the location. He's at the cathedral 20 minutes away. I'm like, excuse me, Father, what's his face? Yeah, it's an actual Catholic priest. I was like, okay. I was like, just out of curiosity, how does Father so-and-so feel about horror movies? He was like, well, I mean, a lot of them are against the Catholic religion. I was like, okay, sure, that's fine. So like, there's like a whole thing, we filmed the process for Kill the PA, which is like a making of documentary series, where we're like, how much can we tell him that's like not technically lying, but still keeps our insurance policy without us burning in hell, right? Like, because we want to be truthful, but we don't want to burn in hell. So like, there's a balancing act that happens here. We're shooting a movie about a demon who tried to kill people, who's sent from like God. It's like a thing. So we don't want to die, but we also want to make the movie, so what can we do and what can we say? So eventually, basically, it shows us like going to the Catholic Church, which by the way is beautiful. So this is like a multi-million-dollar Catholic church, 22 minutes outside this teeny tiny small town, middle of New Mexico town. And he was the most understanding, sweet, kind-hearted individual. He would not go on camera. He did not want to be on camera. I literally was like, here's the thing. We're making a horror movie. That's what we're doing. But it doesn't portray the Catholic Church in a negative light. And we need a small town church. And you happen to own a small town church. We're just independent filmmakers who are doing the best that we can. And we would love your support. And he was like, absolutely. And I was like, what do we owe you? What can we pay you? He was like, just make a donation. I'll sign whatever you need. So he signed the location waiver, which also, if you want to do an actual distribution deal, you have to submit to them your location waivers. So get those paperworks that you need, because if you don't have them, you're not going to get a distribution deal. And he was like, you pay whatever you think you should pay. We're not going to give you a dollar amount, but just know we love independent film, and if you want to shoot at our location, like this multi-million-dollar Catholic church, which is so beautiful, it's like hardwood, everything as far as I can see, you're welcome to shoot here, just let us know. No, actually, in the script it's like a small little town cathedral, so I don't need to shoot at this multi-million-dollar location, but thank you. Thank you. And then they literally gave us carte blanche. We could do anything. They didn't care. We gave them a small donation, not anywhere near what they were worth, but it was like literally what we could afford, and they were so thankful. Signed the waivers, and everything is really done above board. And I feel like that story to me is representative of how you can handle yourself, which is like honest and truthful, and doing everything that needs to be done to get the movie made in a way where you can get it distributed legally. So that's what I would say to you. Keep in mind, I'm a big fan of let's do like the minimum that we need to do, because we do work on low budget, but also let's do a movie that we can get actually released. Because at the end of the day, if we can't release it properly, it doesn't help out anyone, including the filmmaker.
I feel like a lot of what I'm going to say is exactly almost what you just said. Because what everyone has just said is basically, it doesn't hurt to ask. And a lot of it, when you're talking to the guy you're trying to get your location from, it's kind of like a need to know sort of thing. Like, oh yeah, this is what we're doing, but we do need some paperwork signed. 9 times out of 10, they want to read the script. I shot in a church as well. We made a short film. It's a stoner comedy about a suicide cult inside this church in Fort Worth, Texas. And I live in Dallas, Texas. All right, and so it's pretty red state over there. And I was really nervous because this lady who ran the church, she was the pastor, I guess, and I'm trying to be as honest as possible. She was super nice, and I felt really bad that I was about to defile her church. And I was like, thank you so much. She already signed the paperwork and everything. She signed the waivers. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, sure, you don't want to read the script? She goes, no, I don't want to read it. I'm like, are you aware of what we're making? She goes, I know, I've heard.
Did you tell her it was a stoner comedy?
She knew it was a stoner
I
comedy.
love that.
She was totally cool and awesome.
But I feel like it's 2019. They know that like some of their impression does drugs.
Well,
I get that.
I get. If you're going to church in Fort Worth, I don't know. It's,
Drugs, but I would probably have to do drugs to go there.
They don't need to do drugs to talk to the snakes.
No. But-
It's just the way it is down there.
this church was huge. I mean, it had like a little Sunday school room. It had a giant conference room that we used for our production office, and we also put our tech room in there. That had this giant kitchen, so we were able to get our whole crafty set up, and we actually had a cook on site. And we utilized, and it had this giant empty parking lot with all these woods around it. And so we made our road trip film, and it was raunchy and fun. And she didn't want to watch it, but she was very glad to help artists. And I too have a friend who runs a studio in Dallas, and I grew up with him. I went to high school with him, and so whenever I need a place, the first thing I think about is, well, how am I going to use my studio that I have free access to? What's around there, and how am I going to utilize that? And so I write as best as I can to fit my primary location. And I mean, we shot The Torturer there.
Let's be honest, by primary location, you're meaning location you can get for free.
Exactly. But I mean, it's a studio, and it has got like probably, I don't know, 80 rooms. We always get like the biggest room.
80, that's great.
We get like the biggest room, and we make it our production office. We have another room that we use for makeup and crafty, and then we have our set. And the rooms are completely black. The ceiling's black, the walls are black, the floor is black. So we can play with it as much as we want. We have enough space for our own green screens. We can do whatever the hell we want. And it's got this really crazy alleyway. So we shot murder balls in the alleyway, and then I have a friend who has a bar in Deep Ellum, which is like where all the rockers and it's all where all the clubs are. And so, we took Lloyd Kaufman there, and we shot there, and then we go to Pro, and we shoot in the alleyway, and we just like, what do I have at my disposal? And it's like, that's when I started reaching out to my friends who are just like, man, I just wish I could, help out one day. I'm like, well, can I use your bar? Can I show up before you guys open?
You're like, as a matter of fact, you can.
Yeah, exactly. And they're always down. So, just, friendship goes a long way.
It does.
Loyalty does, and all you gotta do is ask. But always get a waiver sign, please.
One thing from my angle, if you will, as a content creator for just stuff like this, it's not much different from what you guys do as filmmakers, is what I like to call the lack of shame. It's literally going up to people that normal con goers, for example, would never do. Like walking up to John Schneider and Tom Wopat, for you young ones, as Dukes of Hazzard. I was just teasing, not really. But anyway, walking up to them like, hey, I was a big fan. Can I interview you? For what? My website.
That's a good way to start, actually. Get to meet people.
And what's great is when you screw it up in the first 5 minutes, didn't get recorded, and you laugh about it, and you get a great end scene with it too. It was great. And yes, that happened. It was funny.
I got some great advice on churches. We went, because we have a church scene in Blackstone. We went to every church in Topeka, all over the area, all got turned down flat. No zombie movies in our church.
Mm-hmm.
But the UUFT church, Universalist, Unitarian, those guys were like, and they said, come on in, shoot your zombie movie, because if you think about it, Jesus was a zombie. And I just went, you guys are so cool. They let us come in, do whatever we wanted. We've never done a location waiver, so I've learned something there. But they just said, come in.
It really helps with distribution, because they want that.
Well, and I'll keep that in mind. And I get all of the places we've shot, I've got permission, I could get back and get signed stuff. But the UUFT churches, those guys are so open-minded. You could do gay vampire zombies, and they're like going, please, bring more in. So it's just an idea. You do a church scene.
That's great, actually. I mean, the fact that you hear from the church saying, oh yeah, Jesus was a zombie too. It's like, yes!
Zombies are from the devil.
Yeah, that's the two extreme.
It's like, I don't know which side to go on that, man. It's just, you guys are literally with two different stories on two different sides of the thing. That's just great. It's perfect.